A warm welcome to one and all. Myself, Dr. Rashmi Joshi Savalkar, Assistant Professor, Department of Zoology, Sri RLT College of Science, Akola. Dear friends, today we are here to start our new session, our sixth unit, BSc 3, Unit 6, BSc 3, and Semester 6. And the topic here today we are going to learn is the DNA replication. But the first unit should be start here, so the concept will be clear to you very well, that what are DNA, what is DNA, what is the genetic material, and that all basic concept should be clear here first. But I think that first lecture is not started till now, so this is my second unit and third unit. So the workload allotted for me for the sixth semester is unit second and unit third of semester 6. So the first topic of our second unit is DNA replication. So friends, let's see what is DNA. DNA is a major store of genetic material or genetic information. It is a storehouse of genetic information. Then it is basis of for inheritance. It is basis for inheritance. To transfer this genetic information from a parent cell to a daughter cell during cellular reproduction, the DNA must be duplicated. So these are all properties and definition of DNA. Now let's see the central dogma of DNA. So DNA replication and transcription, RNA, then translation, then protein synthesis. This is the central dogma of DNA, RNA and protein. So see here, DNA reversible process, it is reversible process, that is replication, transcription, we get here the RNA, then reverse transcription takes place, from RNA translation takes place, and protein synthesis is done. So the flow of information in the cell starts at DNA, which replicates to form more DNA. Information is then transcribed into RNA and then it is translated into protein. The proteins do most of the work in the cell. So this is the central dogma of the DNA. Now the next slide is DNA replication. This is our today's topic, DNA replication. The duplication or synthesis of DNA is called replication. When one DNA duplicates or copies itself, then this type of synthesis called as replication. Now DNA replication is semi-conservative. Now what is this semi-conservative DNA replication? Each replicated duplex daughter DNA molecule contains one parent strand and one newly synthesized strand. The base pairing rule is always maintained. See here the diagram. This is the ladder of DNA. So the two strands separates or bifurcates itself. So the blue strand and the red strand. See, now on these separated strands of DNA, single strands, the newly strand develops, and this newly development is called as semi-conservative DNA synthesis. Now semi-conservative replication. What is this semi-conservative replication? This is the parent DNA here, which is shown in green color. See, the two strands of parent DNA separates. So here one single strand of green DNA, parent DNA, and single strand of parent DNA, which is in green color. Now on this green colored parent DNA, the new strand in red color develops. Synthesis takes place. So these two DNA, which are in the first step from for replication, that from a single strand of parent DNA, that the new developed DNA, which is called as semi-conservative daughter DNA molecules. These are the semi-conservative DNA. Now prokaryotic replication. Replication in prokaryotes is much better understood than replication in eukaryotes. The basic requirements and components of replication are the same for prokaryotes as for eukaryotes. In both, the requirements are similar for replication process in eukaryotes and prokaryotes. So see here, the basic requirements for replication are substrates, template, enzymes and proteins. These three things are required for the replication of DNA. Now substrates, the 4-deoxyribonucleoside triphosphates, that is adenosine triphosphate, guanosine, cytosine and thymidine triphosphate. These 4 substrates or deoxyribose sugars are required. Now the template. Both these strands of DNA double helix serve as template for the synthesis of new daughter DNA strands. See here, both these strands of DNA double helix serve as template. They separate first and then after bifurcation the elongation and new strands develop, and which gives at the last step, that is in termination step, the new 2 strands of DNA are developed, which is the daughter DNA. Now see here, DNA replication key enzymes. Which enzymes are required for replication? So these 4 enzymes are the key enzymes required for replication. First is helicase enzyme, DNA polymerase, primase and ligase. All these 4 enzymes are required for DNA replication: helicase, DNA polymerase, primase and ligase. Now let's see what is the function of these 4 enzymes in DNA replication. So enzymes and proteins. So DNA B protein, that is helicase, it unwinds the DNA. When 2 strands of DNA are winded with each other, so this helicase enzymes unwinds them. They get separated in 2 single strands of DNA. Then the second enzyme is primase. It synthesizes RNA primer. Primase enzyme, it synthesizes RNA primer. This is the function of primase enzyme. Then DNA topoisomerase 1 and 2 relieves torsional strain by cutting and joining single strand of both strands. Separation, bifurcation takes place with the help of DNA topoisomerase. Then enzymes and proteins. The DNA polymerase, this is the important enzyme. DNA chain elongation. When the 2 strands separates or bifurcates, the fork takes place. At that time, the DNA polymerase helps in DNA chain elongation. New strand develops and get elongates. So this function is because of the presence of enzyme polymerase. Now what is the function of ligase? So DNA ligase joins Okazaki fragments. What are these Okazaki fragments? So let's see. And DNA A protein opens duplex at origin of replication, SSB, single strand binding protein, which binds separated single stranded DNA and stabilizes it. Then termination binding protein prevents the helicase from further unwinding and facilitates termination. This is also important enzyme, which is termination binding protein. Now let's see, DNA protein B or helicase. What is the function of helicase enzyme? So see the diagram, it is double stranded DNA. Now here bifurcation takes place. This bifurcation is stopped here. So DNA protein B or helicase unwind the DNA double helix. So unwinding takes place due to these helicase enzymes. It acts like a zipper to unzip the DNA. Okay. Now DNA polymerases. The DNA synthesis is catalyzed by enzyme called DNA dependent DNA polymerase. These polymerases required for DNA chain elongation, DNA repair from 5' to 3', exonuclease activity, then proofreading 3' to 5' exonuclease activity. All these functions are performed by the polymerase enzymes present over there. Now types of polymerases. In polymerases in prokaryotes and polymerases in eukaryotes. See the diagram here. DNA polymerase 1, polymerase 2, polymerase 3. These 3 polymerase enzymes are seen into the prokaryotes. But in eukaryotes, 5 polymerase enzymes are seen, and they are named as polymerase alpha, polymerase epsilon, polymerase beta, polymerase gamma and polymerase delta. So 3 polymerase enzymes in prokaryotes and 5 polymerase enzymes in eukaryotes. Now let's see the chart here. Again, first, second and third polymerase in prokaryotes, and in eukaryotes alpha, epsilon, beta, gamma and delta. But their functions are different. So let's see. Polymerase 1 in prokaryotes and polymerase alpha in eukaryotes functions as gap filling and synthesis between Okazaki fragments of lagging strands. Now polymerase 2 and polymerase epsilon, DNA proofreading of and DNA repair. beta for DNA repair, gamma for mitochondrial DNA synthesis, and delta and polymerase 3 leading and lagging strand synthesis. Now, the main topic, today's main topic, how replication takes place in DNA. So friends, 3 steps are required for replication here. First one is initiation, elongation and termination. These 3 main stages are there for DNA replication: initiation, elongation and termination. So let's see the first step, initiation. Now DNA, a protein, recognizes and binds to the ORI of the DNA and denature the DNA. ORI point where the DNA denatures. Prokaryotes which have a single circular DNA unwind such way as to form an eye or bubble. Replication of double-stranded DNA is bidirectional. So here unwindness takes place, and that stage is called as initiation. Now see the diagram. With the diagram I will explain you what is initiation. Origin of replication. This point is the origin where replication takes place. Binding of helicase enzyme. Here the helicase enzyme binds. After binding of helicase enzymes, the 2 strands unwind itself. See, the 2 strands get separated, and that point is called as ORI gene. ORI. Okay, replication bubble I and new strand, that is parent strand. Green is parent strand, and those unwind itself, and these 2 parts are the winded itself. So this is the place where helicase enzyme binds ORI, and at that place the unwind of DNA takes place. This is the process called initiation. Now in eukaryotes, replication begins at multiple sites composed almost exclusively of adenine and thymine base pairs along the DNA helix and is referred to as a consensus sequence. One round of synthesis involves over 4 million nucleotide in each strand of DNA, which complete in about 40 minutes. Now DNA, a protein, recognizes and binds to the ORI of the DNA and denature the DNA. Helicase binds to this region and unwinds 2 complementary DNA strands. This is the process in which where helicase helps in initiation. This unwinding leads to the formation of V or Y-shaped structure called replicating fork, and that place where the unwindness takes place is called as replicating fork. SSB stabilizes the separated strands and prevent their reassociation. SSB protein or SSB enzyme stabilizes and separated strands and their reassociation is prohibited with the help of this SSB enzyme. The stress produced by supercoiling is released by topoisomerases. See, the unwindness takes place, but the winded DNA shows stress there, and this stress is released or produced with the help of topoisomerases. So the function of topoisomerases is given here. Now see the diagram here. Single stranded binding protein. This is the single stranded binding protein. Origin, ORI. Okay, the place where unwinding takes place. No PDA between DNA strands. First, helicase unwinds DNA. Number 2, SSB protein binds to DNA strands. Okay, now just relax your backbone and let yourself unwind. So topoisomerase functions as, now just relax your backbone and let yourself unwind. Unwind is done with the help of this isomerase enzyme, isomerase enzyme and topoisomerase enzyme. So this helps in this way. Now initiation. Once the strands are sufficiently separated, binding of primase takes place and forms complex with proteins called primosome, which can recognize a specific site for synthesis of RNA primer. Now let's see replicating fork. First, a DNA A protein recognizes and binds to the origin of the DNA and successively denatures the DNA. DNA B protein, that is helicase enzyme, then binds to this region and unwind the parental DNA and form a V where active synthesis occurs. This region is called the replicating fork. The stress produced due to unwinding by helicase is released by topoisomerases by cutting either one or both DNA strands. The single-stranded binding SSB protein stabilizes the separated strands and prevents their reassociation. See the diagram here. 3' end, 5' end, this is the winded DNA, and this is the fork where the separation takes place. Two strands are separated, unwinding takes place, and the fragments here are called as Okazaki fragments. This is the SSB, and this is the, see, these are lagging strand Okazaki fragments. These are lagging strand from 5' to 3', and these are leading strands from 5' to again 3'. And these are topoisomerase enzyme, this is helicase enzyme, which helps in bifurcation or unwinding of DNA. Topoisomerase, which helps with the direction of movement of replication fork, and which helps in releasing the stress in the winded DNA strand. And this is the RNA primer. So this is the diagram again. Then single-stranded binding protein, this is the diagram again, that helicase unwinds DNA, SSB protein binds to DNA strands, primase creates primer, then DNA polymerase begins to build. These are the steps here. Then what is the function of DNA polymerase 3? DNA polymerase 3 initiates the synthesis of new DNA strand by adding deoxyribonucleotide to the 3' end of the RNA primer. Thus, DNA polymerase 3 can synthesize a new chain only in the 5' to 3' direction. Both the DNA strands are synthesized simultaneously but in opposite direction. One is in the direction towards the replication fork and other in the direction away from the replication fork. See the diagram here. One in the direction in the opposite of fork, and one in the direction of the fork itself. So this is the diagram where replication and ligation and all those things takes place. Then leading strand, the DNA chain which runs in the 3' to 5' direction is copied by polymerase 3 as a continuous strand requiring one primer. This new strand is known as leading strand. Now lagging strand, the DNA chain which runs in the 5' to 3' direction is copied by polymerase 3 as a discontinuous manner because synthesis can only proceed in the 5' to 3' direction. This new strand is known as the lagging strand. This requires numerous RNA primers. The strand which requires numerous RNA primers and that Okazaki fragments are there, that strand is called as lagging strand. See here, this is the lagging strand and this is the leading strand. In a single direction, a single growth is there, that is the leading strand. Here fragments are there, so this is the lagging strands. Then Okazaki fragments. As the replication fork moves on lagging strand, RNA primers are synthesized at specific intervals. These RNA primers are extended by DNA polymerase 3 into short pieces of DNA that is called as Okazaki fragments. Now, Okazaki fragments are short, newly synthesized DNA fragments that are formed on the lagging template strand during DNA replication. Okazaki fragments are between 1000 to 2000 nucleotides long in prokaryotes and are approximately 150 nucleotides long in eukaryotes. They are separated by 10 nucleotide RNA primers. Two Okazaki fragments are connected into one continuous newly synthesized complementary strand by enzyme ligase. This is the diagram for that. Then DNA polymerase. Upon completion of lagging strand synthesis, the RNA primers are removed from fragments by DNA polymerase. It also fills the gap that are produced by the removal of primer, leaving only a nick. DNA polymerase 1 cannot join two polynucleotide chains together. Now DNA ligase. What is the function of DNA ligase enzyme? Let's see. DNA ligase, as DNA polymerase 1 cannot join two polynucleotide chains together, an additional enzyme is required for an additional enzyme DNA ligase to perform their function. DNA ligase join two polynucleotide chains together by catalyzing the formation of a phosphodiester bond to seal the Okazaki fragments. See, what is the function of DNA ligase? The Okazaki fragments are joined with the help of phosphodiester bonds, and which is catalyzed by the enzyme ligase. So ligase enzyme joins the Okazaki fragments by forming the phosphodiester bond. See the diagram here. The function of ligase is shown here. Then the last topic, it is termination. So what is termination? Termination sequences, example termination, direct termination of replication. A specific protein, termination binding protein, binds these sequences and prevent the helicase from further unwinding of DNA and facilitates the termination of replication. So termination is the end process. Termination is the end process which stops the unwinding of DNA, and this is the last step of replication of DNA. So when unwinding stops, it is clear that no new DNA strands can be synthesized. So it is the last step where replication stops, and it is called as termination. Now what is proofreading? DNA is copied by DNA polymerase with high fidelity, accuracy. Incorrect nucleotides are incorporated with a frequency of 108 to 1012 bases, which could lead to mutation. But the error ratio during replication is kept at a very low level by specific process called proofreading. Mismatches occurs more frequently but do not lead to stable incorporations, because all these three DNA polymerases have 3' to 5' exonuclease activity. Proofreading activity. DNA polymerase 1 and 2 are known to exercise mismatched nucleotide before the introduction to the next nucleotide. Now see, there are some difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic DNA replications. These points are very much important, so listen carefully that what is the difference. So features, and this is prokaryotes and this is the properties of eukaryotes. So features: RNA primer length approximately 50 nucleotides, eukaryotes 9 nucleotides. DNA polymerase 3 types, 1, 2 and 3. Here 5 types of polymerase is present: alpha, beta, gamma, delta and epsilon. Number of origins, here single in origin, here multiple in origin. Nucleotide length or Okazaki fragments of lagging strand, 1000 to 2000 nucleotides, approximately 200 nucleotides. Then rate of replication, approximately 500 NTs per second, approximately 50 NTs per second, 10 times slower than prokaryotes. So this is the difference between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic DNA replication. So friends, this was all about what are DNA, how replication takes place in 3 steps: initiation, elongation and termination, which enzymes are responsible for replication. So we have studied today here. So go through this lecture, and if you want to discuss, please inform me on my WhatsApp group or my personal WhatsApp number. Thank you friends, thank you very much.